Hello friend, in this video I am going to discuss about some basic concept of chemistry. So first of all we will see the definition of chemistry. The branch of science which deals with the study of composition, structure, chemical properties and mutual interaction of matter, mutual conversion of matter of chemical compound is called chemistry. The word chemistry comes from the Greek word chemia, which means black soil. A Greek word, chemia. That means earth surface. A Greek philosopher, Lavoisier, is known as the father of chemistry. Initial time, the scientists initially study about the structure of earth and different types of minerals, elements, which are found in soil. The word originated chemia from that time. So chemia means black soil. So if we talk about class 10 chapter first, so we have to study different types of chemical reactions. First one is combination decomposition reaction. Second, which is three types: thermal decomposition, photolytic decomposition and electrolytic decomposition. Thermal decomposition proceeds in presence of heat, photolytic decomposition in presence of sunlight, and electrolytic decomposition completes in electrolyte solution, just like sodium sulfuric acid, any type of electrolyte compounds, basically the breakdown of a compound, in presence of electrolyte solution. Third is displacement reaction, in which a most reactive metal displaces least reactive metal from its solutions. Double displacement, there is an exchange of ions. Exothermic, if heat is evolved during reaction, then the chemical reaction is defined as exothermic. Endothermic, when heat is absorbed during chemical equation, the reaction is called endothermic. Oxidation reaction, when oxygen added during a chemical reaction, the reaction defined as oxidation. When oxygen detached from the chemical compound, this type of chemical reaction is defined as reduction reaction. If both oxidation and reduction proceed same time, the reaction is defined as redox reaction. Last one is catalytic reaction, in which a chemical reaction proceeds in presence of any catalyst, just like molybdenum and many types, just like phosphorus pentachloride, a type of catalyst. First is combination reaction, a type of chemical reaction in which a single compound is formed from two or more chemical substances is called combination reaction. Just like if we talk about CO2, it is formed with combining carbon. If you burn carbon in presence of oxygen, that means these two elements combine to form CO2. Similarly, hydrogen and oxygen combine to form H2O. Decomposition compounds is formed from a single substance. Then this type of chemical reaction is called combination reaction. Decomposition reaction, basically. So in presence of heat, there is a decomposition of calcium carbonate, which is split into calcium oxide and CO2, carbon dioxide. Similarly, decomposition of iron sulfate in presence of heat decomposes iron oxide. Iron sulfate decomposes iron oxide and sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide. Thermal decomposition, as we discussed, a type of chemical reaction in which a single compound is breaks into two or more chemical substances in presence of heat is called thermal combination reaction. Calcium carbonate and ferrous sulfate in presence of heat split its constituent compounds. Photo decomposition reaction, A type of chemical reaction in which single compound is breaks into two or more chemical substances in presence of sunlight is called photolytic combination reaction. Just like silver chloride, silver bromide, it is split into silver and chlorine gas and bromine gas respectively. Third type of decomposition is electrolytic decomposition, a type of chemical reaction in which a single compound is breaks into two or more chemical substances in presence of electrolyte solution is called electrolytic combination decomposition reaction. Okay, here combination is written is wrong, there will be decomposition by mistake. Just like magnesium chloride in presence of electrolyte solution is splitted into magnesium and chlorine. Similarly, sodium chloride is splitted sodium and chlorine gas. Metal activity series for displacement reaction. So it shows the reactivity of different types of metal element from top to bottom, most reactive to least reactive respectively. Just like lithium, potassium, barium, calcium, sodium, magnesium, aluminum are most reactive metals. In bottom there are least reactive metals. So this activity series helps in displacement reaction. Okay, reactivity series for non-metal also. Fluorine is most reactive than chlorine, and chlorine is most reactive than bromine. Iodine, oxygen, iodine and sulfur, etc. Displacement reaction, as we discussed activity series in previous slide, which helps to understand the displacement reaction. A type of chemical reaction in which a reactive metal element displaces a least reactive element from the metal compound or chemical substance, then it is called displacement reaction. Just like iron is more reactive than copper, so it can displace copper from its solution copper sulfate and form its own solution ferrous sulfate and copper. Similarly, sodium is more reactive than silver, so it can displace silver from silver nitrate to form sodium nitrate and silver. Fourth is double displacement reaction, a type of chemical reaction in which there is an exchange of ions of its compound is called double displacement reaction. Just like copper sulfate and calcium carbonate, there is an exchange of iron sulfate to calcium and carbonate CO3 to copper, so there is an exchange of ions between them. Silver nitrate, ferrous sulfate, it will become silver sulfate by exchanging sulfate from ferrous sulfate to silver and ferrous nitrate. Endothermic reaction, a type of chemical reaction in which heat is absorbed during chemical reaction, then it is called endothermic reaction. A type of chemical reaction in which heat is absorbed during chemical reaction, there is a requirement of heat to absorb to proceed the chemical reaction. Just like CO2 plus H2, this gives for the formation of glucose, photosynthesis. Okay, it is the process of photosynthesis in which there is a requirement of heat, that is heat is absorbed during chemical reaction. Similarly, nitrogen and oxygen combine to form nitrogen monoxide and heat. Carbon plus H2 gives that carbon monoxide plus H2. Calcium carbonate gives that calcium oxide plus CO2, also heat. Exothermic reaction, a type of chemical reaction in which heat is released during chemical reaction, then it is called exothermic reaction. Okay, just like in aerobic respiration in our body cells, there is a breakdown of glucose molecule in presence of oxygen. That means oxygen breaks glucose in carbon dioxide and H2O. Similarly, carbon, if we burn carbon in presence of oxygen, it gives that CO2 plus heat. Methane in presence of oxygen, it gives H2O plus CO2. Sulfur plus oxygen gives that SO2 plus heat. Hydrogen plus oxygen gives that H2 plus heat. Oxidation reaction, a type of chemical reaction in which oxygen is added or hydrogen is separated to an element in a chemical reaction, and then it is called oxidation reaction. First example, copper plus oxygen, there is addition of oxygen with carbon. So this type of chemical reaction, oxygen is added to an element to form copper oxide in first example, and second example, oxygen is added to aluminum to form aluminum oxides. Third is oxygen in presence of ultraviolet rays to form ozone gas. Reduction reaction, a type of chemical reaction in which hydrogen is added or oxygen is separated to an element in a chemical reaction, then it is called reduction reaction. Okay, so mercuric oxide, mercury oxide in presence of heat to form mercury and oxygen, there is a detachment of oxygen molecule from mercury. Similarly, if there is a addition of hydrogen or any hydrogen like elements, also referred as reduction reaction. Okay, in presence of heat there is a splitting of ozone molecules to oxygen in presence of UV rays, also reduction reaction, because there is a less oxygen, one oxygen is separated. Redox reaction, a type of chemical reaction in which both oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously in a chemical reaction, then it is called redox reaction. In this type of chemical reaction, oxidation and reduction both perform at the same time. Just like copper oxide plus H2 is, if oxygen is separated from carbon, then there is a reduction of copper, that means copper is reduced here, and there is an addition of oxygen with H2 to form H2O, that means there is addition of oxygen, which means oxidation. So in this reaction there is a reduction of copper and oxidation of hydrogen, that means this type of reaction referred as redox reaction. Second, zinc oxide, similarly with hydrogen, zinc and plus H2O. Third one is zinc oxide plus carbon to form zinc plus carbon monoxide. Catalytic reaction, a type of chemical reaction in which rate of reaction is altered in presence of catalyst in a chemical reaction, then it is called catalytic chemical reaction. During chemical reaction, if there is a slow or fast with presence of catalyst, just like molybdenum. Okay, also iron phosphorus pentoxide, this type of catalyst will reduce or increase the rate of performing chemical equation, slow or fast. Basically, first one is potassium chloride splitted into potassium chloride plus oxygen. Second is hydrogen peroxide splitted into hydrogen oxide plus O2. Third is nitrogen plus hydrogen gives that ammonia 2NH3 plus heat. Some important balanced chemical reaction which can be asked in board exam, which are the most important, which has taken from CBSE, also ICSE book. Okay, these slides also includes the important balanced chemical equation. Okay, which can be very important for the board examination. Last one is indicators. Okay, the indicators are the chemical substance which indicate solution is acidic, basic or neutral by change in color or order. Okay, if you want to identify which solution is acid or base or it is neutral, then there is some natural indicators, synthetic indicator also, and universal indicator. So the natural indicators are litmus paper, turmeric, a type of chemicals, and synthetic indicator, litmus paper, turmeric, okay, haldi. Synthetic indicator, methyl orange, phenolphthalein, which can by which we can find the acidity or basicity of solution nature. Universal indicators just like methyl red, thymol blue, bromo, thymol blue, and phenolphthalein. Natural indicators can change acid. Natural indicators basically if we have litmus paper, okay, and we want to check whether the solution is acid or base, then if blue litmus paper changes to red, then the solution must be acid. But when red litmus paper changes to blue, then the solution must be base. So in this video, this is all about. After remaining topics will be covered in next video. Thank you.